Hi, okay, and welcome to this video. And what I'm going to go through today is how you should approach a shot, the steps you need to go through. It's what I call the 7 steps to heavenly chipping. And for those of you that haven't seen my book or have purchased it, if you purchase this book, what this is going to do, this is going to go through again the steps I'm going to go through on this video, and also go through 4 different chips for you, so it shows you how to play the different shots. There's the instructional part on there for that part of it, the actual technique. I'm today just going to go through the steps and what you need to do when you hit a chip shot. So chipping is not about walking up and just hitting the ball. What we need to do, we need to assess it and have a look and decide what club and what landing zone and everything like that, and that's what I'm going to be going through on this video. So what we're going to do first of all is I'm simply going to throw 4 balls out and let's see where they end up. So we'll have one over there, one up the top, I'll drop one down the front, and we've got a bunker here. I'll just drop one the other side of the bunker. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab my clubs and then we'll go through to each one, and I'll go through and explain exactly what the 7 steps are. Okay, so here we are, position 1, and the ball's very tight lie. So we're at Thetford Golf Club. We drain very well here, which means we don't have a great deal of grass. We have an awful lot of tight lies, which means chips like this are a little bit trickier. We've got to be spot on with the strike. So the ball is here, we've got a nice bunker in front of us, and as you can see, if I go around, we come up to a slope, and then with the green starts here, I've probably got about 18 foot of green from when it starts to the flag. So the first part of the 7 steps is assess. So what am I assessing? First thing is I have to assess the lie. So the first thing I would do is come up, I would have a look at the lie, I would grab a club, any club really, so I'd have a look and go, okay, yeah, that's sitting actually pretty well. So that's sitting nicely, so therefore I've got lots of options to the shot that I can hit here. Okay, so I'm now assessing the shot and what options I've got, and to do that I have to go on to the second step, which is visualize. So what am I visualizing? I'm visualizing the ball going through the air, landing and then running. I'm visualizing potential landing zones, which is number 3. So landing zones is number 3, and a landing zone is, okay, where do I want the ball to land? Where is a good spot to land the ball? I mean, I certainly don't want to risk landing it anywhere near the bunker. So for a shot like this, my landing zone is going to be on the green, and if I come round from where I am, I reckon if I land the ball anywhere about here, so I've carried the bunker, I'm looking to land the ball about 10 feet short of the flag, and then the club I select, which is number 4, the club I select will take the ball from its landing zone to the hole. So the loft of the club dictates the run. I'm in control of hitting the ball from A to B, so A is the ball, B is the landing zone. The club I select and the way I play the shot takes it from the landing zone to the hole. So when I chip, I've got 7 iron upwards. Would I use a 7? No. 8? No. 9? No. Pitching wedge? No. Then I go to my other wedges. 52? No, because I'd get too much run. 56? I could hit a 56, but I think for a shot like this, the 60-degree wedge probably gives me more chance of getting the ball very close or even into the hole. So that's the way I do it. So the 4th one is club choice. So we've gone through the first 4 quite quickly. Again, they're assess. I'm assessing the lie, I'm assessing the shot. Visualization, visualizing the shot, what potential options I've got, and trying to find a landing zone. So landing zone is number 3, which is very important. You pick a landing zone. Most golfers don't, and that's why most golfers fail when they chip. And then the landing zone and the shot choice I pick selects the club. Number 4 is the club. So number 5, I would have a practice. So I'm having a practice and sort of feeling how hard I want to hit the shot, and for what I would do, what type of shot I'm going to hit. Now here, I don't think I need to do anything fancy, so I'm going to hit pretty much a standard chip. I think the club I've got will do its job. I think this isn't too hard a shot as long as I strike the ball properly. Okay, next thing, so that was number 5. Number 6 is setup. Very important you get set up absolutely spot on. I don't want to have it too far forwards, I don't want to have it too far back. So I always sort of get the club in, get myself in, I get myself nice and comfortable, and I like to have a look at the landing zone, not where the ball's going to end up. So my weight's quite even, and then what you might see at this stage is we move across. So I'm sort of saying, okay, let's get your weight into a lovely position. Let's get it all the way over. I look at my landing zone, which is up there. Okay, the number 7 is strike. So what I'm going to try to do is get a half decent strike. Hit the chip. Oh, and there we go. So we've got a bit too much bounce there, if I'm honest, and it's rolled about 3 or 4 foot past the hole. Okay, so chip number 3. 7 steps again. First thing is assess. This is where it gets a little bit trickier. So I'm assessing the ground, and as I can see, we've got that's a higher, that's lower, and that's higher and that's lower. So we've got a bit of a hanging lie, which is not ideal, and we've also got a tight lie. So there's not a lot of grass, but again, as always, I always grab a club and see. Okay, we're actually on a bit of mud as well. So on something like this, where I've got a very tight lie, it's on a bit of mud, which means if I catch the floor fraction early, the shot's gone. I would always tend to play this shot a little bit further back in the stance, which encourages me to hit the ball first and the ground second. And all that changes the energy or the run value in the shot. So by moving the ball back, it means the ball's going to run more. Okay, so no matter what club I use, I understand it's going to run more. I just have to take that into account when I go to pick my landing zone. So the assess of the lie is a downhill, bit of an angle one. I've decided to move it back so I know it's going to run more. And then again, what I do is I can see that we've got a slope here, then it goes up, then it goes downhill, then I've got a tier here, and then the green slopes quite heavily from back top right to the bottom left. So this ball's going to move all over the place, again depending where I'm going to pitch it. So this is where good visualization really comes into the shot, and I'm looking at, again, potential landing zones. So let's say I do have to pitch the ball in this area. I'm always looking for the flattest piece of ground to land the ball. The first bounce when you chip is the most important. I could pitch it into this hump if I had to, but the ball's going to kick. I have to take that into account. So if I can pitch the ball on a flat area, I've got more chance to judge what might happen. The best landing zone is always on the green. And if I weren't on if I had a bit more grass there, I would probably go for the green. I'd hit it in quite aggressively because I would use the slope to check the ball and slow it down. So that is definitely an option. Or I can choose to run the ball. So when I choose to run the ball, I tend to get a bit lower, and I'm looking at, as if it's in my hand, I'm going to roll the ball. What contours we're going to take, how much we're going to come round. So my options are, as I see it, is landing it here and landing the ball here. This requires me to generate a bit more check spin. This one here, I've just got to get the right club and hope we get a half decent first bounce. So we've assessed it. We're still visualising to help find the third one, which is the landing zone. Okay, so because the ball's above my feet, that again, and in the full swing, that would tend to cause a draw, which is topspin. It just makes the fact of trying to generate some check that little bit harder. So I'm going to show you how to hopefully try to run it through some rough ground. We're going to look to land the ball here. So the idea is to land it here, scoot the ball up so we get it running up here, and then hopefully let the contours bring it down towards the flag. And I'm also realistic on chipping about where I think the ball might end. So certainly on the first 2 chips, I would expect to get it quite close to the hole. This one here, because you can never really guess that first bounce, you know, if we get it as close, I'll be over the moon, but we might be, you know, 6 to 8 feet away. So having a look here, so if I can land the ball there, I'm trying to work out what club I need to hit. Let's pop this one away. So what I would do here, I would pull out a club, and I've got an 8 iron, and I just sort of try to feel the 8 iron strike. And what I'm doing, I'm just sort of trying to visualise me popping it to there, it going up and through. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad actually. Okay, so we've assessed, we've visualised, we've got our landing zone. I've picked my club stroke shot selection, which is here. We're going to bump it through and hopefully come round. So let's see what happens. So I'm having a practice. Again, my practice is always about hitting to the landing zone. That's the bit I control. The run is down to the loft of this club. I don't need to worry about that. So this bit here, okay. So set up, the ball's higher above my feet than what I thought. So, okay, because it's high, I'm going to move the ball back, which just takes away the chance of catching the floor first, but it will increase the run slightly. Okay, so let's have a go. So now strike. So as I've struck it and it's coming round. Okay, so I had a really good chip there. I perhaps allowed for a bit too much break, but what am I, 7, 8 feet away? That's not the end of the world, seeing as it was a hanging lie, it was a tricky lie, and I had to deal with a lot of rough ground. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so chip number 4. Let's hope this one's a good one. So we've got 3 down there already, and let's go through the routine. So assess. I'm assessing the lie. Nothing wrong with that lie. I could hit anything off that. Bit of a few humps and bumps where my feet are, but not a problem. The problem I've got is as I'm assessing the actual shot, we're down here, which means the ball's going to run an awful long way. So I've got to be careful with the club I choose. We either have to have very lofted or hit it with a bit of check or spin to stop it. I'm trying to visualise potential landing zones. I only really see one here, if I'm honest. So I'm going to look to land the ball somewhere about here. And if I was landing it from that ball to here and going to that flag on a flat green, I would use a 52-degree wedge because of the severity of the downslope. I'm going up to my 60. So we've got a lot more loft to hit the same shot on a flat green because the ball's going to get away with us. I'm going to look to hit it with a bit of check. So it goes in, checks, and it should just release its way down to the hole. So I'm happy with club, landing zone, everything. So again, I'm just in a little practice. So I just get that ball to that spot, nowhere else. Let's set myself up. Okay, and when we're ready, there we go, we nipped it. Oh, go on. Oh, I broke the other way. That's broke uphill. But again, from there, I'm really happy that about 3 foot past the hole, did everything I said it would do. So hopefully this video has shown you that regardless of technique, you have to go through a process. If you don't go through a process, your chances of failure are much higher. So the 7 steps, assess. What are you assessing? You're assessing the lie, you're assessing the shot. Then you move on to visualization. You're trying to visualize where you want that ball to land, potential landing zones. Landing zones, you want a good bit of ground, you want a flat bit of ground. You want options, ideally. And then the visualization takes you into a club or a shot selection that you go, okay, right, I'm going to land it there. Then we have a bit of a practice. Okay, so you're going to have a practice of the movement, and then once you're happy, we get the correct setup. And once you're in the correct setup, have a look at your landing zone, not the hole, because we don't want to land it there. We'll land it on the landing zone and then execute the shot. So my focus is always on striking it to my landing zone and letting the club that I've select take it from the landing zone up to the hole. Practice this. As I say, if you want to get a bit more info, then have a read of my book, 7 Steps to Heavenly Chipping. That will go through this again, and also 3 or 4 techniques of chipping, how to make the ball do different things. Good luck.